Hello everyone, welcome to final section of chapter 12 electricity. So as usual, we will be starting with discussion what we have covered in the last class. We have started with resistance in series and parallel combination, where we have found multiple equations for such behavior. We have got for resistance in series was simply the addition of all the resistances taken in the circuit. If it was parallel, we have calculated resistance in parallel as reciprocal of the sum of all resistances taken into account. Where we have got some series formula that if all the resistances are same, we got NRS total resistance. Here we have calculated that resistance in parallel was equal to R by N for N identical resistors connected in parallel. Then we have gone to calculate the value of heating effect of current or work done or energy in this case, where I have found three equations coming out by formation, that is I square RT, VIT and V square T by R were the equations for heating, and I have found that commercial unit of energy was coming out to be kilowatt hour. Then we have moved into pressure, where from relation we have found power factors. The power factor which has come, that was simply VI or I square R and V square by R. Three equations we have got for power, which was represented in terms of watts. Here we have other units as either calorie or either joules. So calorie is something which we are going to study in higher classes. In the current class 10, we are only going to deal energy either as joule or commercial unit of energy, that is kilowatt hour. Now moving further, we have to start, that is alternating and direct current. So in our last video we have discussed a slight information regarding alternating and direct current. If I start with that, I have an alternating current which is represented by a wave having crest as upper portion and trough as lower portion, such that I am having here an amplitude, that is maximum height obtained during that curve formation. Both will be amplitude. The time taken to make one complete wave or one complete cycle, this will be known as time period. And reciprocal of time period will be equal to frequency, or reciprocal of frequency will be time period. The horizontal distance which we will get from here, this horizontal distance from point A to point B, this will be known as wavelength from A to B. So if I apply general equation for velocity, which is known as displacement by time, so in this condition, if I look, my displacement is equal to wavelength, that is lambda, and reciprocal of time will be equal to frequency. So this is my equation. In short form, I can represent lambda into f. This is the wave equation which governs what will be the frequency, what is the maximum amplitude of a particular wave. Alternating current always varies in periodic manner, whereas if I talk about direct current, it is simply represented by a straight line where voltage or current is fixed with respect to time. Here it is change. This is the peak values, these are the minimum values we have. Here only one constant value is there in direct current. That means its value is never going to change. Its value will never become 0 as well. Whereas in alternating, its value can come to 0, can become negative, and again come to 0 following a cycle. So this is what we have left in our electricity. We have some other topics which are required for solving some Olympiad or NTSE level questions. So for that we require 2 to 3 different topics for covering this. So I will start with very first topic, that is known as Kirchhoff's law. Reason why we require this is because there are some limitations of Ohm's law. If I talk about limitations or restriction in Ohm's law, I have multiple boundaries. Number one, it only works for conductors. It is not applicable for resistors or semiconductors. So one of the limitations that I am having. Second, that temperature should be constant. So if temperature is changing, if suddenly during the flow of current in the circuit wire melts or wire shape or size changes, then how to deal with that? That is one of the limitations. That is physical state and temperature. If they are varying, what will happen? Second, we have complex circuits in our houses where so many wires are there. If we go into any office, there also multiple connection of wires will be there, where calculation of current will become much harder using Ohm's law. So it is not applicable for complex circuit. This is one of the major limitations while finding any current or any potential across any wire while calculating equivalent resistance. So to deal with limitation, let's take an example. Suppose I have a Wheatstone bridge. Such that the resistors are connected in the form of a parallelogram or kite shape, and there is one resistance connected across the diagonal as well. So if resistances are in this format, how to calculate such type of scenario? Here, if I look, the current is traveling from this section. After that, this current is divided into 2 parts. This current moving further will again divide into 2 parts. From here also, if I look, this is a point where current should divide. So current is coming downward and upward both as well. So one of the factors has to be taken. Second, we cannot figure out from this condition whether it is series or whether it is parallel. So under this condition, our Ohm's law is not applicable to solve or to get the value of current across each resistor. If resistances values are different, we cannot calculate using Ohm's law. If resistances values are same, we can calculate. How in the sense? The ratio, that is R1 by R2 ratio, should be equal to R3 by R4, or R1 by R3 ratio should be equal to R2 by R4. If these ratios are same, then only we can make the condition of a balanced Wheatstone bridge. In balanced Wheatstone bridge, the ratio of 2 adjacent arms should be same as the ratio of remaining 2 adjacent arms. In such condition, there will be no current flowing through the center diagonal condition. If no current is flowing, it will be like there is no such wire present at the center. Then R1 and R3, R2 will be in series, R3 and R4 will be in series. Whatever the output comes, from that we can make parallel combination, get our desired result. But if resistances ratios are not same, it has limitation. So how that we are going to use, we are going to discuss in this scenario. So if I say Kirchhoff's first law, it is known as Kirchhoff's current law or Kirchhoff's first law also. What it says is, if there is any junction, any point is there where wires are meeting, then the sum of the current entering the circuit will be equal to sum of the current exiting the circuit as well. This will happen. So if I1 is the current entering, I2 is entering, and I3 is entering, and I have exit current as I4, I5, I6 and I7. So as per the condition, I1 plus I2 plus I3 will be equal to I4 plus I5 plus I6 plus I7. So it is working on law of conservation of charge, where the total amount of charge inside the junction or on the junction should remain same. If any amount of current is coming to that junction, it has to leave that junction as well. If it is no current coming, then there cannot be any exit. Now we take second law, which is required to solve such type of Wheatstone bridge. So under that condition, we have Kirchhoff's voltage law or Kirchhoff's second law. So if I take generally a circuit having some resistance and two batteries connected in different order, this way, two batteries are connected having different behavior, having resistances R1, R2, R3, having potential V1 and V2. So under this condition here, both the currents are going towards this point. This is your junction. This is a junction here where current is getting divided. So I have to break this circuit into two loops. What Kirchhoff's voltage law says that the potential across any resistor taken in any loop will be equal to the total potential of the battery. If I am saying, what it means is, if I take the flow of current in this order, such that to happen, I have to decide whether which of the voltage is greater. If I have to take, I am taking here V1 is greater than V2. So under this condition, this potential is more, so it will only go in forward direction. So this is your I1 current coming from V1 battery. This is your I2 current coming from V2. Here, as per first law, the current going upward will be I1 plus I2 across R3 resistance. So if I take first loop and write the Ohm's law equation or simply check the voltage under that condition, how that will look like. Here I have one resistance across which I1 plus I2 current is coming, and I have a battery of V2 volt and another resistance R3 and R2. This is my loop number 1 where current is flowing. So here, if I look at the values of resistance how much it will come. So I have to check at this node also what is happening. Again, the current coming here is I2 plus I3 from here. Some of the current will go here, that is I2, remaining will come I1 on this side. So under that condition, the current across this resistor is I1 plus I2. The current across R2 resistor is only I2. So as per Kirchhoff's voltage law, the total potential, that is I1 plus I2 R3 plus I1 R2 will be equal to V1. This condition will be taken. This will be our equation number 1 for the circuit, for the main circuit. If I take second circuit here, how it will represent? The second circuit here, on the top it is having a battery with a resistance, and on the bottom it is having a battery with another resistance, R1, R2, V2 and V1. Again my loop will be in the same direction. Loop number 2. Here I have V1 potential, current across R1 is I1, current across R2 is I2. So my equation will come out as I1 R1 plus I2 R2 is equal to V1 minus V2. Because V1 is greater, so higher potential will be taken in the direction. Under that condition, I will get the desired potential. These are my two equations through which I can solve. This was not possible with the help of Ohm's law. So under that condition, we have got that. Then second, what additionally we require is some numericals which are based on NCERT, especially on resistivity calculation or the calculation of length or cross section area based on resistivity and resistance. So if I take a question similar to your NCERT exercise, it will represent where I have resistance given as 10 ohm and I have to find the length such that resistivity is equal to 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 8 ohm meter, and a diameter of the wire as 0.5 millimeter. This condition is given. I have to find length. This is NCERT question number 6 of exercise. So under that condition, I am directly taking the formula, that is R is equal to rho L by A, which implies that L will be equal to RA by rho. So I have to substitute the values. Area which we are talking about is cross section area. It will be represented by pi r square or pi d square by 4. So first part we do the calculation of area. We have millimeter condition, here meter condition. I have to convert this into meter. So this will be equal to 5 into 10 to the power minus 4 meter. So my area will become pi into 5 into 10 to the power minus 4 whole square by 4. Pi d square by 4 condition I am taking here to get the area in terms of meter square. Substituting this value here, I will get length is equal to 10 ohm into resistance and area, that is 25 into 10 to the power minus 8 upon 4 into 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 8. So this is directly cancelling out. 10 to the power minus 8 will go away. While solving, I will get the length around 122.5 or 122.6 meter. This is one of the major questions that students get stuck. Reason? Because of this conversion of millimeter to meter. If it is millimeter in terms of diameter, we have to divide by 2, then get the required answer. So on this basis, it will depend which type of question is there. Always remember, if you are calculating resistivity, the power has to come in 10 to the power minus 8 format, followed by a multiplication of a single digit number. Most of the resistances, if you look at the reached resistance of a table, we have reached resistance for copper and silver, that is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 8. Whenever we are dealing with electrical circuit, most of the time resistance will be close to this value, because whenever we are using the wires, they are made of copper. So on that note, we are finishing the chapter of electricity. From next section, we are going to start with light or either human eye. Thank you.